थोड़ी सी नेट में रिवाइज कर लो। थोड़ी सी एक
कर तो नहीं चाहिए, बस एक आध घंटा लगाना कि मैं
मैंने कहा एक आध दो साइडें
अभी कहीं मैं
15 मिनट है और चलो है। 15 मिनट बाद में 12 बजे स्टार्ट
ठीक है।
अगर हम जल्दी स्टार्ट करेंगे फिर जल्दी खत्म करेंगे। ठीक है 10 से 15 मिनट।
अब मैगी बनाएगा। इस बात तो आता है। हाँ?
ये सर इसको मिलवाते हैं।
कब?
तो ये बड़ा भी खूबसूरत लग रहा है।
मिलेगा नहीं।
मिल जाएगा तो कैसे से बनाया था तो जब आप कह रहे खुर्चा तो नहीं है।
नहीं कुछ क्या? शेख साहब खोले कोरोना नहीं ऐसे कर सकते हैं क्या? तो छोड़ो डॉक्टर सारा नु याद कर लो जरा सब तो सही कैसा हो।
डॉक्टर
मैंने
साहब
चाहिए ना बुला।
इसी को आप बैठे।
आपके पास जो लिंक है ना, वो हमको सेंड कर दें, वो ऐड हो जाएंगे, लेकिन एक बार लेक्चर नहीं दे सकते, लेक्चर आप
सुन तो सकेंगे ना?
हाँ सुन सकते हैं। जी पीछे हो गई स्क्रीन शेयर करें,
एक मिनट टाइम हो गया।
7-8 मिनट में ये स्क्रीन शेयर करते हैं आप।
शेयर कर दूँ?
जी सर। शेयर करें। ऐसे ही चेक कर सही है, कुछ है बस ये बताइए।
नहीं, मैं लाइट असल में ठीक से
अच्छा पीछे करना हैंड ड्राफ्ट होता है सर।
प्लीज अभी म्यूट हुए हैं ना, अनम्यूट क्लास है।
वो कर लेंगे वो हमारा, तो सर आप एंटर एंटर करें, एंटर 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 तो
ओके।
स्टॉप सर रोकनी यूजिंग करनी
नहीं नहीं,
फिर कैसे जी स्लाइड में से निकालने का
यहाँ से शुरू करनी है,
बस ठीक
स्लाइड शो करना है, तो इसको आगे करना है।
जी सर।
तो मुझे बच्चा कैसे चलेगा कि यहाँ स्क्रीन आ रही है बच्चों की?
जी सर आपको बताते आवाज आ रही है कर दिया पासवर्ड क्या करें ये बात है
सर अभी
सर अच्छी
स्क्रीन शेयर हो गई।
सर अब आपको बता देते आवाज
ये
यहाँ से करने पड़ेगा
स्लाइड शो
स्लाइड शो का
नहीं लग रहा है जैसे।
अब बोलिए आपको बता देते आवाज आ रही है
तो आपने बच्चों को मैसेजेस कर दिया।
माइक्रो करते
यार बात सुनो, अच्छा मैं आपके पास इसमें ही देख लेंगे, इसमें ही देख लेंगे।
खोलो दुकान के मैसेज आएंगे हाँ
हेलो स्टूडेंट्स,
यूजर कहीं से मुझे ना
अनम्यूट किया?
अच्छा
अनम्यूट करो। इनको घड़ी रुक गई है, घड़ी रुक गई है।
जी बाकी ना माना बच्चे में ना आता है चला है
कभी
आवाज नहीं सर आ रही माइक का कोई इशू है मेरा ऊपर करने सही से
हेलो हेलो,
कुछ आवाज आ रही है आपको बता दे
हाँ जी आवाज आ रही है? मुझे वो हैंड को दे दो बड़े वाले।
Yes, sir. आ गए. Start करें.
अच्छा, अस्सलाम वालेकुम. I hope all the students are over here. So we are going to start the lecture. I hope everyone is fine at home.
क्या कर रहे हैं? क्या कर रहे हैं?
I can see few students over here, so I want more and more attendance. Like there are few more people. We are supposed to get one, two, three, four, five, six. There are like six, seven students. I want all the students to be over here in a minute or two. There are just seven, eight students. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what about the last lecture? I mean, did you guys understand the lectures that we have delivered? Any confusion from the last lecture or any question from the last lecture? Anything you want to ask me, just message me so that I can answer. And my principal, Dr. Surya Basman, this is the convener for today. He is also with me. So if you have any questions, just ask us right now. Then after 5 minutes, then we are going to start our lecture. Any point that was not clear or that is not clear up till now, because we are going to take our exam from these lectures. So you need to be very much careful about the lectures. Are there any questions up till now?
iCloud, iCloud, CL, CLO,
So everything is so much clear about the cavities, like okay, what about now? The voice is clear. Are you guys listening? Can you listen all? Hello, are you listening? Everything is clear. The voice is clear. Okay, that's good. So, from the last lectures, we discussed the different cavities, like the class 1 cavity, class 3, class 4 cavities. We have discussed the different materials like composite, amalgam, and the other tooth colored materials, right? So, I am sure that all of you somehow have an idea about the morphology, about the shape of the tooth, and also what is basically a caries region, how the caries region progresses, and what are the factors that basically govern the establishment of the caries region, and how we are going to prevent those lesions. So, if there is some confusion about the cavities, about the progression of the cavities, about the risk factors, or the design of the cavities, like last we have discussed the class 1 cavity, which is on the top of the tooth surface. The class 3 cavities, which is the on the side of the tooth, right? But for the class 3 and the class 4 cavities, um, there must be an anterior tooth. Anterior tooth means the tooth that are present in front of your mouth. There are two kinds of the teeth, the front tooth and the back tooth, right? So for the class 3 and the class 4 caries regions, the anterior or the tooth that are present in front, that should be present. Class 3 and the class 4 can never be on the back of the teeth, right? It won't be on the molars, it won't be on the premolars, right? So this is the point. But for the class 1 and class 2, right, and the class 6, it is strictly on the posterior of the tooth that are present on the back of the mouth, right? So these are basically the classes. You need to be very much clear, or you need to understand the concept of these classes, because all of the dentistry is basically based on these, on these cavities. If you don't have the idea of these cavities, you cannot even design a cavity. You cannot even diagnose a carious lesion. So it is very much important for all of you to understand these, because as the clinical year progresses, right now you guys are in second year BDS. Inshallah, if everything goes fine, you will be in next year. You will be in third year, and inshallah, and after that, you will be in the final year of your tenure. Then you will be the doctor. So it's very much important that you need to be very much aware about the anatomy or the morphology of the tooth, and also the concept of these cavities, because it's something very important being a clinician. So to build a base of it. So today we are going to discuss the class 2 previous region. If there is any question right now before the lecture regarding the previous lectures, so you can ask me or just text me that we are going to start the lecture today. I need your feedback so that we can start the lecture. Students, I need your feedback. We're going to start the lecture. I don't see any kind of the messages from the students. Okay, that's great, fair enough. If you have any question, okay, that's fine. If you have any question, you can ask me between the lecture, right? So today we are going to discuss the class 2 carious lesion of the class 2 cavity design. Okay, this is the mandibular burst molar. Okay, this is the mandibular first molar. Like mandibular first molar is the first tooth that is first permanent molar, first permanent tooth that arises in our oral cavity at the age of 6 years, right? So this is the first, and this is the first tooth that is more and more prone to the carious lesion, to the establishment of the carious lesion, because it comes first. So that's why it is more and more prone to get the carious lesion if the risk factors and the other factors are not controlled by us in the oral cavity. So this is basically a view. A view is a view from different angles. Like first of all is the buccal view. Buccal means the view that is present on the cheek side. If you are going to see your tooth from the cheek side, your permanent first mandibular molar, the tooth that is present in the mandible, the tooth that is present in the lower jaw in the first molar is the mandibular molar, right? This is the view on the buccal side. Buccal side means that is the side that is present from the cheek side, right? This is the lingual view. If you can see your tooth from the tongue side, the portion of the tooth that can be seen from the tongue side would be like that. This portion, this you can only see that portion of the tooth from your naked eye, right? You cannot see the roots of the tooth because the roots are submerged in a socket, so you cannot see. You can only visualize the roots of the teeth on the radiographs, or if you can extract or if you can pull out the teeth, then only you can visualize the root. So this is the buccal view. Buccal view means that is the side you can easily see on the buccal side. Buccal side means the side that is present from the cheek side. So you can see the morphology like this, right? Okay. This is the mesial view. Mesial view is like that kind of a view. That is basically if you can see the tooth, right? Like say for example, it is the mandibular first molar. If somehow you can see that from that side, like say for example, the number five is present on that side. If it is not present, that tooth looks like that on the from the mesial side, right? If you can see that tooth from that side, that is basically the side that looks like that, and you can only visualize that white portion. You can't see the roots of the tooth. Okay, next come on the distal side. Okay, distal is basically the side, like say for example, this is the distal side, this is the middle side. If you can see or if you are able to see the tooth from that side, it looks like that way. Say for example, this is the upper side, that side is the side that is present on that view is the lingual side. If you can see the tooth from that side, that is the mesial one. The tooth looks like that. And if you can see the foot from that distal side, right, the shape or the visualization or the viewing angle is, you can see you have the view like that, right? Okay, and this is the occlusal view. Occlusal view means, like you can say that if you're going to see your tooth from the top, right? If, like say for example, if a person is standing uh, besides you and he or she can open your mouth, and then you can visualize, if you can see from the top of her tooth, it looks like that something, it looks like that way. You can see there are one plus, two plus, three, four, and five plus. Five plus means that you have the mandibular first molar, right? So it is very important to visualize. It's very important to remember how the tooth looks like if we are going to see from the top, because most of the times we are going to work from that view. We always, the dentist and the other restorative dentists or any specialty they belong, they basically work on that side. And being a restorative dentist or a fellow of the operative dentistry, we basically use that side. Okay, so we need to visualize, we need to understand the morphology, we need to understand what are the features that can be seen if we are going to see the tooth from the top side, right? Okay, now this is the mandible first molar, right? Okay, as I have discussed this in the last lecture, that the view is basically the occlusal view. The occlusal view means again the view from the if you can see that from the from the top, it looks like that way. So we need to understand the morphology, the anatomy of the tooth. First of all, in this we have a groove. This is the groove. This is the red line. This red line is basically a central groove, right? So there are four grooves. Like for example, the central group. Central group is basically that is basically a group, right? This is the central group, and this central group basically divides into the many groups. So this central group is very much important in order to understand the anatomy of the tooth. Okay. Now, secondly, we have the mesiobuccal. Now, what is mesiobuccal? And it divides into this is the central groove, right? Now, this is the mesiobuccal, right? Is the lingual groove. Okay, I think we have lost the internet. I'm sure that everyone is on the board. Can any one of you text me that you guys are here? Okay, that's good. Okay, we are discussing the anatomy of the mandibular mirror, and right. Okay, so here we are. We have that central groove, right? We have the mesiobuccal groove. We have the distal groove, and we have the lingual groove, right? This basically a mesiobuccal groove divides into the mesiobuccal cusp, right? I'm sorry, this is the mesiobuccal groove, right? This mesiobuccal groove divides into the mesiobuccal cusp. This is the mesial side. Sorry, this is the mesial side and this is the distal side. This is buccal and this is lingual. It basically divides into the two cusps, mesiobuccal cusp and the distobuccal cusp, because this is the distal side and this is the mesial side. So we denote that from that side. This is the mesiobuccal cusp and this is the distobuccal cusp, right? Sorry, I don't think so. I'm sorry, to repeat this again, this is the central groove. This is basically a mesial side, and this is the distal side. Sorry for being an interruption. That is the lingual side, and that is the buccal side. Again, central groove. This is mesial side, this is distal side. That group divides into the mesiobuccal cusp. This is distobuccal cusp, and this group divides into the distobuccal cusp and the distal cusp, right? And that lingual group divides into the mesiolingual cusp and into the distolingual cusp. So we have five cusps. This group divides mesiobuccal cusp and distobuccal cusp. This group divides the distobuccal cusp and the distal cusp, and that lingual group divides the mesiolingual and the distolingual cusp. Right? So all the cusp and all the groups are very much clear. Okay. Now we have the five cusps which I have already discussed before. The buccal view is bulky. Okay. Do you understand the voice? I mean, I know there is very much noisy. Okay, what is the confusion? I'm going to repeat this again. Okay, from that diagram, I can explain to you again. We have five cusps on the mandibular first molar, right? This is the mesiobuccal cusp. This is the distobuccal cusp, right? This is the distal cusp, right? This is the mesiolingual cusp, and this is the distolingual cusp. Are we clear about that? Hmm? So the cusp are clear. Now the groups. This is basically a central group, right? This group or this line divides the two cusps. The first is the mesiobuccal and the second is the distobuccal, right? This line divides into the distobuccal and the distal. Okay, and this line or that is groove divides into the mesiolingual and the distolingual, right? Are we clear about that? Should we move forward? Okay. If we can see from the top, we can also appreciate that the crown is wider mesodistally. Like say for example, this is the mesial side and this is the distal side. This crown is wide, right? As we compare that from the buccal to the lingual side, right? Now this area is wider as in compared to this area, right? And there are two well-developed roots. One root is on the mesial side and one root is on the distal side. You cannot see the roots. I have no idea why you guys are so much, so much listening about those noises. I try to be so much consistent about that, but there are so many people who are giving the lecture at the same time. So maybe due to this, you have the noise from the background. Are we clear about that? So we are going to move forward. If there is any confusion up till now, just text me, right? Okay, so we move forward. Okay. Now we have two roots. One is the mesial, one is the distal root. We have five cusps. That is the mesiobuccal cusp. That is the distobuccal cusp. One is the distal cusp. Then on the lingual side, we have distolingual cusp and the this mesiolingual cusp. Right. The crown is wider. Mesio Mesio-distally. As in comparison, the crown is narrower from the buccolingual aspect, right? Okay, now moving forward. Okay, what is a class 2 cavity? Class 2 cavity is defined as the carious region which involves the interproximal areas of the posterior. As I have mentioned in the start of the lecture, that strictly for the class 2, it is only present in the posterior tooth. The posterior tooth are basically those tooth that are present on the back side of the tooth, right? And for the class 2, it is very difficult to examine or it is very difficult to see the class 2 caries region because interproximal areas means the area which is present on the side of the tooth. Like as I mentioned to you earlier, interproximal areas means, like say for example, the caries region is present on that side, on the mesial side or on that distal side. It may start from that area, but at the end it has to encroach that area. So it can start from that side or it can only encroach on that area, right? So it is because it is very difficult to visualize because the another tooth is very much close to that tooth. So we cannot easily visualize that area, right? So it is very difficult to diagnose. Only the symptoms, the patient may complain of the sensitivity or the complain of the food infection. Then you have to intervene where the class 2 caries lesion is present, or you can use the other aids or the other diagnostic tools in order to determine the class 2 caries lesion. But if there is no tooth is present on that side or on that side, you can easily visualize. But most of the times you have tooth on both sides, so it's very difficult to visualize. Only the aids is going, other diagnostic aids is going to help you. Now from that picture, the class caries region is present, will be present or may be present on that area. It's not easy to see that area. You can see from the diagram that it's not easy. Because only the sign and the symptoms can go on you to that the patient has a caries lesion. That's why they have the sign and the symptoms of the cavity or the any other symptoms. Now the best thing, how you can easily predict or how you can easily see or diagnose is the piping radiographs. Piping radiographs basically are radiographs that can easily show you that view. The X-rays can easily show you that. So this is basically the class 2 carious region. This is the posterior to posterior tooth. Always starts from that side, and it starts from the first premolar, second, then first molar, then second and third molars. This is the canine. The canine comes under the category of the anterior tooth, while the premolars, first premolars, second and third molar, and first molar it basically comes under the category of the posterior tooth. So here, this is the last anterior tooth, and this is the first posterior tooth. Then we have the second premolar, and where the clinical picture shows that there is a cavity, there is a black area. You can easily see it. If like say for example, this is the class 2, and if the carious region is present on that side, this is the class 1. Okay, if the carious region is present on that side, this is class 3. If it is present on that side, it is class 1. Since it is present on that side, it is class 2, right? And what about the class 4? If that anterior tooth involves that area, this is basically a class 4 carious region, right? Now, this is the first molar that represents the class 1 in both class 2. Basically, it involves both class 1 and the class 2 areas. Like, this is the pit and the fissure. It involves the stain pit and the fissure, and this stain area that extended to that area. So that means this is the mesial side and this is the distal side. This is a very good clinical picture in order to show you the mesial and the distal side. The first this is the second premolar of the mandibular tooth, right? This is the mesial side, right? And this is the distal side. This is the buccal side, which is the cheek side. And this is basically the lingual side. So again, revising the anatomy, we have 5 cusps. We have the mesio buccal cusp, we have the distal buccal cusp, we have the distal cusp, we have this mesiolingual cusp, we have the distal lingual cusp. And this is basically the groove. This basically grooves divides into these cusps. Okay. This is also the clinical picture. Let me see again. Okay, this is also the clinical picture. This is the class 2 carious region that is present on the premolar tongue, right? These are basically the different sites. As I've shown you earlier, शेयरिंग स्टॉप हो जाएगी.
शेयरिंग किससे?
क्या वो लेक्चर उनको बताना चाह रहे हैं?
नहीं, यहाँ आईडी आएगा एक,
उसको बुला देते हैं.
उसको बुलाया गया है वो.
Participants here.
जी, इसको खत्म कर लो. उसको खत्म कर लो, ले आओ उसको फिर.
सर उनका नाम तो आया ना यहाँ,
इसका
जिसको आपने शेयर करना है.
नहीं, शेयरिंग स्टॉप की ना, ये तो स्टॉप हो गई.
नहीं,
हाँ,
शेयरिंग स्टॉप थोड़ी हुई है, शेयरिंग चल रही है.
इधर तो आ गया स्टॉप शेयरिंग.
नहीं सर, स्टॉप शेयरिंग अगर हम क्लिक करें, एक मिनट कुछ ऐसा होगा. चल रहा है लेक्चर. ठीक है, लेक्चर चल रहा है.
इधर आईडी आनी चाहिए.
एक मिनट. Students, you need to wait for 2-3 minutes, right? There is a discrepancy between the lectures, so just please wait for like 10-15 seconds.
कोई तो पता लगता नहीं, पता ही हमारे पास नहीं है, डेली चेंज हो जाती है. इधर कोने पे करके फिर आनी चाहिए. बुलाया उसको, वो कहता मुझे नहीं पता.
Okay, we are going to start it again. Here we are, it's the class of carious region. Okay. As I mentioned you earlier about the biting radiographs, right? right? So this is basically a Viking radiograph, right? You can easily see that from that angle we can easily see the crown portion of the tooth. Like this is the mandibular first molar, this is mandibular first premolar, and this is mandibular second premolar. This is the maxillary first molar, this is the maxillary first premolar, and this is the maxillary second premolar. So a biting radiographs basically easily visualize, and it is the PET investigation, the PET tool in order to diagnose the class 2 caries lesion, right? This is the clinical picture. This is the first premolar that involves the side of it. So this is the class 2 caries region, right? And these are basically the sides. For example, this is the buccal view. That is basically the lingual view. Say, for example, this is the mesial and the distal view. So on the side of it, we have the class 2 caries region over here. There is a difference between these two caries regions. This is away from the that root structure, away from the roots. But that caries region is very much close to the root area, right? So this is basically the phytoradiograph, which is the PET investigation in order to diagnose the class 2 caries lesion if we cannot see the tooth clinically. Clinically means if you are going to examine the oral cavity and you cannot find the class 2 caries lesion, so this radiographs or this view, this black view, it's going to help you in order to determine where exactly the location of the class 2 caries is. Okay. Now, according to the JV Blacks, now who is JV Blacks? JV Black is basically a founder. He is the first person in dentistry, or that basically laid down the classification system of those caries cases. And up till now, he is considered as the father of the classification in the carious lesion, right? So according to J.P. Black's classification, the lesion seen on the proximal means the side of the tooth, right? That carious lesion is present on the side of the tooth. That is present on the side of the tooth. You can see the black spot. That is basically the side or the proximal or the interproximal areas. These all terms are the same just for one thing, basically the side of the tooth, right? No, 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 no. For the class 2 carious lesion, it okay. I understand. Okay, Osama, right? Okay, for the class 2 carious lesion, it can only involve that area, that distal side or the mesial side, or it may represent thus that central portion. It can start from that central portion involving the mesial or the distal ridges, and it has to involve that area if we are going to talk about the class 2 caries lesion. The class 2 caries lesion can only and only present on the mesial side or on the distal side, right? But it can also present, or it can also involve the central portion. It's not hard and fast rule that it can only be present on the side of a tooth or the interproximal side. No, it can involve whole of that central portion. It can extend to that area. Okay. Now see from that clinical picture, it involves that distal side, it involves that mesial side, and the whole of the central portion is also involved. So it depends on the extent of the carious lesion. Extent means the limit of the carious lesion. So it involves both mesial side, distal side, or the central portion, or only but if it does not involve any mesial and the distal side, or only the central portion, then it is class 1. You need to understand this thing, that if it involves the proximal side or the side of the tooth, then it is class 2. Otherwise, it does not involve any of the mesial or the distal side. It only limits in the central portion, then it is the class 1 carious lesion, right? Everyone is clear about that? What is the concept of the class 1 and the class 2? If there is any question right now, you need to be very much clear. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, then we will forward. Okay, now what are basically the steps of the cavity preparation? So we have discussed until now the class 1 cavity, the class 2 cavity, the class 3 cavity, and the class 4 cavity. Now there is a steps of the cavity preparation, and these steps are very much similar, or somehow they are same for all of the uh, then how we are going to start. There must be a map. That there is a war started in the battlefield. There must be a map. There must be a steps that we are going to take in order to combat that situation. So first of all, we need to design the outline form and the initial depth. Outline form is basically a map. What the cavity looks like is basically an outline form. The second most important step is obtaining the resistance and the retention form. I'm sure you guys remembered the resistance and the retention form. Resistance form means that form of the code, or somehow you are going to design the cavity in such a manner that it can resist against the forces. It can resist against the occlusion load and all of the other forces, right? And what about the retention form? Retention form means that you are going to build the cavity in such a manner that the filling material or the restorative material, it has to stay in that cavity, right? The third is obtaining the required convenience form. Okay, what is basically the convenience form? Convenience form is basically that form of the cavity that basically that is basically the convenience form is basically that the cavity that can put the filling material, that you can, yeah, internet connection. Students, I need your feedback. I think we have lost the internet connection. So if you are over here, kindly anyone to text me so that we can start the remaining part of the lecture. यार नेट कनेक्शन बार बार जा रहा है. नेट कनेक्शन बार बार जा रहा है. बहुत ज्यादा. चल गई. सही हो रहा है. अभी देखें चल रहा है नेट. कैसे पता? Okay, that's fine. Now we are in the third step. That is basically the convenience form. Convenience form is that type of the form of the cavity that we are going to put the restorative material in it conveniently, right? So this is basically the convenience form. Then we have to remove all of the carious dentine. The carious region should be removed. Either it is present on the enamel or either on the dentine. If you remove any of the carious region, it is from that carious region most of the bacteria progresses. So we need to clean the cavity like neat and clean. There is no carious region is present. And the fifth is the finishing of the enamel ball and the margins. The enamel ball and the margins means we need to finish. Finish means there is no, there is no roughness. They are smooth. So there is no undercuts or there is no uneven margins. So this is basically the finishing of the enamel of the enamel balls and the margins, right? Okay, and the last one is the performing the quality of the cavity. So, what is basically the quality of the cavity? That means that we are going to prepare a curve. So that basically removes most of the particles from the curve. That basically produces a mud. Whenever you're going to grind or the take a curve, it basically produces a mud. That mud basically you can say it sticks to the wall, it sticks to the floor, and if that mud remains on that curve, you cannot put your filling material on that curve, because it never bind or it never stay in that curve. So we need to clean that mud from the cavity, which is you can say this like this is the cooked mud or this is the dentinal mud or any of the material that produces from that cook, that basically sticks to it. So we need to clean that material in order to perform other procedures, right? Okay. Now the next we have cavity preparation. The first is basically the outline form. The outline form is basically a map. how the cavity looks like. That is basically outline form. There must be a map for everything. So there are two guidelines in order to design the outline form of a. The first is the carious tooth structure should be eliminated. Again, I'm going to emphasize on this thing, this black area, again, I am pretty sure you all of know what type of this is the carious lesion. Either this is class 1 or class 2. Any one of you text me this, what type of carious lesion is this? Is this the class 1 or the class 2? Okay, excellent. Excellent, great, great. Okay, guys, I can see that you understand this. Okay, like say for example, if that carious lesion may involve that area, you know, if that carious lesion may involve that area, or if carious lesion can extend to that area, then what is it? It is still the class 1 or it will be class 2? Okay, excellent. Great. I'm sure that you all understand this. Okay. Now there is a first. Okay, that's great. Okay, the first guideline is we need to remove all of that black area, all of that carious region in order to design the cavity, in order to make an outline form. And what is the second, guideline is margins should be placed in the sound of the structure. This is something very much clear when we are going to build a plaza or a building. The base should be on the smooth ground or the strong ground, right? You cannot build a plaza or the mall or the anything on a weakened ground or on a weakened base. So all of the margin should be on the strong base or the sound to the structure in order to withstand against the occlusal forces or the occlusal load. So there are two guidelines for the outline form. First is basically you need to remove all of the carious lesion. Secondly, all of the margin should be on the sound of the structure, right? Okay, now moving forward, the outline. What how we are going to define the form is defined as the shape of the boundaries of the completed cavity. Shape of the cavity means how the cavity looks like. After the designing of the cavity, how the cavity looks like. Either it looks like a star shape, either it's look like a butterfly shape, or either it's how it basically looks like after you design a cavity. That is basically an outline form. Okay, this is basically an outline form of the plastic cavity. It starts from that distal side. It involves that the discobuccal crust. Then it's the mesobuccal crust. Then it involves that side of the tooth. That is basically a shape. That is basically outline form. That is basically a shape. It should look like that way. When you are supposed to come to to practice in Avicenna, you need to design the class 2 cavity on the models in that way, as I've shown you in the picture, right? Now, what is basically the external outline form that refers to the external boundaries? Internal outline form refers to the shape of the internal form of the completion. Okay, now this is the external form and this is the internal form. External form means, this is the external side of a toe, right? The form, the outline that is present on the outside, or the present that is, or that is basically a form that is present on the outside. While the internal means it is present inside the cavity. It is very simple. Like say for example, this is the cavity. Okay, anyone want to ask me anything? Okay, are you listening? We try to resolve that noise issues because just for you guys, I am living the lecture so much. Okay, so here we are going to start again. This is basically the external outline form, and this is the internal outline. right? Now moving forward, what is basically the outline form? The preparation for the caries on the proximal surface should have a occlusal outline such that it allow access to proximal lesion, remove demineralized enamel and the dentine and removed enamel not supported by the sound ganglion. If an occlusive carious lesion is present, it should be treated with a separate of this restoration. Now, what does that mean? I think you are the only one who is not who cannot. Everyone is hearing except there is a one student who cannot listen to me. If there is any connectivity problem or any listening problem, text me. I understand there is some loudness.
हम्म आ रही है कौन आ रही है देख आ रही
ये आवाज मेरी कहीं जा रही है। इससे आवाज मेरी से कहीं जा रही
बंद कर दी
है। Okay. Now this is the size of the class of carious lesion, right? Now what is it? Rounded line angles. These are basically the line angles that should be rounded. This is the gingival floor, and this is the proximal box, right? Just listen to me. We're not supposed to read the slides. We can explain all of you about that. Okay, what is basically the outline form? Outline form means that is the form of the cavity, that you can easily visualize after the designing of the cavity, right? So after the designing of the cavity looks like in that manner. Now this is the prepared class 2 cavity. Prepared class 2 cavity has few features. First of all, we have the pulpal floor. This is the pulp floor. This is the axial wall, right? And these are basically the internal walls, right? Say for example, this is the distal side, this is the facial side, this is the lingual, and this is the gingival side. These are basically the external sides. So for the class 2 cavity, we have pulpal wall, we have axial wall, we have gingival floor, we have facial wall, we have lingual wall, right? And the cavity looks like in that manner. Again, this is the lingual wall, this is the gingival wall, this is the axial wall, and this is the pulpal wall. And this is basically the cavo surface margins. Cavo surface margins means that are the margins that protect from the external side of the tooth. Now, second is basically what is the retention form. Again, as I told you many times, that retention form is that form of the cavity, that design of the cavity. There, it must include some of the features that allows us to put the restorative material, that retain the restorative material in that cavity, right? So, how the retention form can be established? The retention form can only be established first of all, for the amalgam restoration is providing the occlusal convergence. What is occlusal convergence? You can see this edge and this edge. They are very much close to each other. And this is the occlusal side. Occlusal side means the side on the top of the tooth. The occlusal convergence provides the first attention form. Then there is a slight undercut in the dentine. Now this is basically the undercut. This is undercut, right? This is basically an undercut, right? This is second feature that the retention form that contains. The third is the conserving the marginal ridges. Marginal ridges means that these are basically the marginal ridges that is present on that side. We need to conserve those marginal ridges. Secondly is the occlusal dovetail. Dovetail is basically, that tail is basically a dovetail that provides a retention in the class 2 carious region. Again, first of all, occlusal of convergence. Secondly, dentine and undercuts. Third is conserving the marginal ridges that are present on that side. And the fourth one is basically the dovetail that provides the retention. Now, what is basically a dovetail and how it could be designed? The dovetail design provides retention from the occlusal portion of the cavity. The occlusal convergence of the walls offers retention in the proximal portion of the cavity against displacement of occlusal. That is basically the dovetail. You know that dovetail provides the retention of for the class 2 carious lesion. This is class 1, right? Am I right? This is class 1 or this is class 2? What about this figure? This is class 1 or this is class 2? Anyone take me fast? Excellent. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Good, good, good. That's fine. Okay. Now this is class 2. Again, this is occlusal dovetail. Remember, occlusal dovetail provides retention. This dovetail means that it is you are going to extend your lesion like this. It provides you the retention. This stay. What is basically we designed the cavity and net connection चला गया. Okay, students, are you here? Okay. Resistance form. Resistance form is basically that form of the cavity that resists the tooth structure from the occlusal load, from the fractures. So we are going to design our cavity in such a way that it provides the maximum resistance. Right? Resistance form. So how we are going to attain the resistance form? The first of all, we have the pulpal and the gingival walls being flat and perpendicular to the forces. What does that mean? I mean, what do you mean by that? This is a flat pulpal and the gingival floor, right? Okay, I'm going to show you diagram. Okay, what is basically that flat pulpal and gingival walls? What do you mean by that? Flat, right? That means, you know, see, this is the floor of the cavity. This is the pulpal wall. This is the pulpal floor. This is basically the axial wall, and this is the gingival floor. See how smooth it is, and you can see the angle. You know, this is the pulpal floor, and this is basically the angle. The forces should be perpendicular like this. It should be flat. It is not rough like that way. That means that we are doing that from that region we establish the resistance form. Okay, from other diagram. Okay, now that is basically the diagram. See how flat this pulpal floor and the forces should be in that manner. It starts from that, it ends on that. It should be perpendicular to the floor. Okay, now, if that is not flat, that pulpal floor is not flat, we never attain the resistance form in the class 2 cavity. Now, what is the second feature? Restrict the extension of the walls to allow strong thrust and the ridges to remain the sufficient density support. Okay, what does that mean? And restricting the occlusal outline form to areas receiving maximum occlusal contact. Right. Now, what is basically the restrict the extension of the walls? Okay, extension means that we are going to, like say for example, if the carious region is, say for example, if the carious region is like on that side, we are supposed to stop our preparation up to that point. We are not supposed to extend that side also, right? Like in this cavity class 1, our carious lesion starts from this side to this side. Like it starts from this and this. We are not supposed to unnecessarily extend our cavity design up to that side, or up to that side, or up to that side, right? It is not necessary, and it should be on the sound of the structure. See how sound of the structure is present on that side, that area, that area, that area, and that area. It should be present on the sound of the structure. Now, resistance form. Okay, secondly, we have the rounded internal angles. What is basically the rounded internal angles as we have seen from the clinical picture previously? What is basically the rounded internal angles? These are basically the rounded internal angles. It should not be sharp because the dentilian undercuts means that we have a feature of retention form, not the resistance form, right? Rounded internal line angle should be rounded, right? And gingival flow perpendicular to the long vessels. Like say for example, this is the gingival flow. It should be perpendicular. Pulpal flow should be perpendicular. Gingival flow should be perpendicular in order to provide the resistance. Any question up till now? We are going to end up the lecture in 5-7 minutes. Any confusion in the resistance and the tension features? Okay, this is the end of the slide. This is the final preparation we have, right? Okay, this is the final preparation we have. Now, this is the occlusal bevel, right? This is the dovetail that extended on that side. This is basically the stomach retention, resistance, secondary stability. This is the proximal flare. Proximal flare is something like how we are going to attain the resistance feature, right? And this is the proximal box. This hole is basically the proximal box for the retention, and this is the gingival bevel. Bevels, there are three terms: occlusal bevel, gingival bevel, and also the proximal flares. These three features can add it to the resistance form of the cavity, right? Resistance form of the cavity. Occlusal bevel, gingival bevel, these are basically the resistance form of the cavity. Or retention, the resistance form of the feature. And dovetail also provides the retention of the cavity. So this is the final cavity design, which when you are supposed to come to the your phantom lectures, I hope all of you can design this kind of the cavity that includes that flaring. I hope you all are over here. We have lost internet connection. Okay, this is the final cavity design. How we are going to design our cavity. Now, in a summarize in a nutshell, what is the resistance features and what is the retention features, right? Utilization resistance is basically the box form. Utilization of the stresses at the cavity seat in inverted trumpet cone prevent wedging action of the restoration inside the curve. The bulk prevent the fracture of the restoration, while the retention provides external retention, provides retention undercuts in the dentine and augments dentine by more friction. What is basically the convenience form? Convenience form basically is that part of the cavity that we are going to access, or we can see our the prepared features how we design our cavity. Convenience form means it describes those features in the prepared cavity which improves visibility and accessibility. That means how finally we designed our cavity. Are we able to visualize our, like say for example, pulpal floor, the gingival floor, the occlusal bevels, and all of the retention, the resistance features. So that is basically the convenience form, and that convenience form provides you more and more convenience in order to put the restorative material in the cavity. So this is basically the class 2 curious region that is filled by the tooth colored composite material. How nicely it was filled. So this is the end of the lecture. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, anything, please ask me. Anything about the class 2 curious region, because next time we are going to discuss another cavity. Any confusion, just text me so that I can answer, and my Professor Abbas Khan is with me.
आवाज
I don't know how is it possible we are going to give you the results of that lecture. but if you have any question, just ask me. I'm going to answer you. Okay, no problem.
No question.
We need to wait for that.
No, sir. चलो बंद करो हैं
आपकी आवाज यहाँ तक आ रही
अभी तो ठीक है यस सर
है। जी बताइए, कोई क्वेश्चन है तो।
नो नो नो
I think they have already understand so much. Okay, guys, see you inshallah the next week. Okay, stay blessed, stay home. Allah Hafiz.
ठीक हो गया मैं असल का ज्वाइन कर ही लेता सोहेल आईफोन आ रहे हैं बड़ी मुश्किल ड्राइवर है
वो डॉक्टर सायरा वो एमबीएस वाली है। मैंने सुना है लेक्चर। ठीक है। पूछने लगा यार, इसको देखो जरा, ये हो गया, इसको बस कैंसिल कर दो। लीव कर यार, बच्चों के जो कमेंट्स लगाए हैं वो कहाँ से हम देख सकते हैं।
ये चैट
निकालना जरा यार, देखो
ठीक है
नहीं तो।
ये चैट ये आपकी
इस बच्चे को आवाज ही नहीं आ रही थी, इसका क्या मसला है।
आपकी बात
बस लीव मीटिंग।